5 years ago today, Tottenham Hotspur beat Ajax 3-2 in the Champions League semi-final. And one of the greatest nights in Tottenham Hotspur history. If they would have won the Champions League final, it would have been the second best night in Tottenham's history. One would have been the Champions League final, of course. To me, this game, I don't know, this game makes me a little bit depressed. Because at the time of this game, I was 16. I was in school. I was in year 11. That is the last year you're in school. And I still remember the day after, going into school, two of my best friends were Liverpool fans. And yeah, it was rough. Soon as the one came in, he just laughed at me. And yeah, not a nice feeling. But it was okay, because you were quite happy with where this team was kind of going. Although I think we could all see we were papering over the cracks a little bit in that Champions League run, because our form in the Premier League was horrendous going into it. But you were still excited, and you really thought we would push on from that Champions League final. And in a different parallel universe, we have won it. Maybe. But we... And what the trajectory of Tottenham Hotspur would have been if we had won that Champions League final. It would be a completely different club right now. And I don't think I'm over it. After that Champions League final, I still remember seeing on Sky Sports we were linked with, or Tottenham agree £64 million deal for Paulo Dybala. If I can find it on my phone, I'll try and put a screenshot of it up on the video. And I thought, oh my god, we are here. We're going to do the Liverpool thing where they lose the Champions League, they make some sign-ins, and they come back and they win it. And that is basically what I thought was going to happen. I thought we would finish second in the Premier League the year after. I thought we would finish above Liverpool. Hopeful, wishful thinking. But that's what the sign-ins made me believe. After this year, we signed Ndombele and Giovanni Lo Celso. Now, Giovanni Lo Celso, about a month ago, racked up his 100th appearance for Tottenham Hotspur. Julian Alvarez has already done that for Man City. He's been there for a season. Also, it doesn't even feel like Giovanni Lo Celso has played 100 games. It doesn't feel like Giovanni Lo Celso has played 40 games at Tottenham Hotspur. Every time Giovanni Lo Celso plays for Tottenham, I still think he's playing like a new signing, as if I'm trying to work out what he's good at and what type of player he is. And then Ndombele, who was the big one of that summer, the £60 million signing, the brightest midfield talent in the world. And in some ways, that was not wrong. The guy has extraordinary talent. He's playing in Galatasaray, and he's about 3 stone overweight as it stands. We didn't kick on. Instead, since Pochettino got sacked about 6 months after that Champions League final, we had Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, Nuno, and Ange Postecoglou as our managers since. We haven't actually gone a full season. Apart from maybe this year, if Ange doesn't get sacked, he won't get sacked. So this will be the first season we've had a manager for a full season since Pochettino got sacked. That is mental. This was 5 years ago. And yeah, I mean, if there's one thing we've learnt at Spurs and neutrals looking into Tottenham, it's that you need the manager to fit the club. We've had better managers than Pochettino in our club. When Mourinho was here, you could clearly tell, he was a better manager than Pochettino. Just the tactics, His in-game management, you could see it. And we had good spells under Mourinho. There's been times under every manager we have had where we could go, are we going to win the league? Apart from Nuno. And first 10 games, undefeated. He was the first manager, I think he has the best start to a Premier League career any new manager has ever had. He won 3 Manager of the Months. Antonio Conte. I really thought last year, in the 22-23 season, we would really challenge for a Premier League title. We finished 8th. The Mourinho season, the year we signed, was it Højbjerg? We signed Bale, Reguilon. I really thought that year we could also win the Premier League. And we've made strong starts in all of them, by the way. But we tail off. And that has been how Tottenham Hotspur have been for a few years now, since the Pochettino sacking. And yeah, we haven't kicked on. But yeah, like I said, if there's one thing we've learnt is you need the manager to suit the club. Conte didn't, Mourinho didn't, Nuno didn't, Ange does. I think this is the first time where we are actually okay. We are actually somewhat stable at the moment, and we ain't clearly there yet. I mean, Ange is saying that he needs to get rid of players, which he does. I think we all kind of know which players they are. But the Mourinho tenure was a mess. The Conte tenure was a mess. Nuno, we don't need to talk about. We don't talk about Nuno. Did you like that? That was pretty good. Yeah, it's just this is the first time I think in 5 years since that Champions League final where I think we're okay. And it's just crazy the trajectory we've gone on since then, because that 2019 final was the final game of that Tottenham era. You know, the Eriksens, the Kanes, the Sons, the Dele Allis, that team, Wanyama, Danny Rose, Hugo Lloris, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen. It was the last game of that kind of era. I think we all wish Moussa Dembele was still at the club as well during that final. And yeah, I don't know. I look at this game with a bit of sadness, to be honest, because since that game, it's gone quite downhill. Let me know what you think of this game. When this game pops up for you, what do you think of? Does it make you happy? Does it make you a little bit resentful towards Tottenham? Does it make you a little bit sad, depressed? Because I would lean towards the sad side. It's yeah, an amazing night, an amazing achievement. We didn't sign anyone that transfer window or the January. So to get to that Champions League final was insane. And we lost to a better Liverpool side. And I think if we're looking at one regret, one reflection kind of, I think it would be to start Lucas Moura. Like, definitely. But what I would say about that game as well is it's kind of a representative... Oh, that doesn't make sense. It's kind of a way of seeing how the board have failed the managers, and Pochettino especially, from that era. Look what he did with... That wasn't the best side in the world. You know, Wanyama was quite past it. We didn't have Moussa Dembele. Eriksen wasn't playing as well. We didn't have Kane for the Champions League. Lucas Moura was a player we was relying on. Dele Alli wasn't the same player. Alderweireld wasn't the same player. Danny Rose wasn't the same player. And we didn't make a signing that year. And we still got to the Champions League final. So it's something we should all be very proud of. That team, those players, the manager. But I think it's more of a reflection of how the board failed Pochettino this game. Let me know what you think. Damn, I wish we won that game.